여보세요? 안녕하세요. 사랑해요. 종류 음식이요.
당연하지.
Hello, I'm Sam.
And I'm Amelia.
Welcome back to another episode with Us Duo Podcast, where we aim to build better mindset for better relationships. And in today's episode, we'll be focusing and diving deep into the importance of mindset.
For better self-development.
And what better to bring in for this discussion is a long lost friend who has gone through this journey day in, day out of his life, Mr. Kevin Lowe.
Hello everyone, I'm Kevin. It's a privilege to be here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, before we start off into the topic, give our listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. So as you know, I'm Kevin Lowe. People probably refer me to K Lowe because of my big butt. Like what the
I like
J Lo.
big butts.
Yeah. So although I don't have a big butt, but people just call me K Lowe. Yeah. I'm Chinese, originally from Hong Kong. So and my family actually and myself migrated to Australia about 20 plus years ago. Yeah. My parents took me back to Hong Kong when I was 4. To pursue my primary school. At least I have a fair understanding about Chinese, read and writing. Then I came back to Australia when I was 13 to pursue my high school life here. Yeah, so yeah, as life goes through, I went through few different fields and jobs, but mainly sales and trading. So yeah, here I am.
Yeah. And from what I heard from Sam too, you have a few businesses at the moment too.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. So I actually I'm a full-time real estate agent, but prior to that, it's a roof restorator. So mainly doing roof refurbishment and roof repairs.
Nice. Yeah.
And you're still balancing that now, aren't you?
That's correct. Yes.
Damn. Yeah. Nice.
It's pretty tough.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so from that, we wanted to know what got you interested or motivated you to start a few businesses.
I truly believe you don't put all eggs in one basket. You know, we probably have to at some point of time you need multiple stream of incomes. When it's sunny day, you have to get the money for the rainy days, right? And we're in Sunshine State, but right now it's actually raining, so we have to have multiple income just to sustain when it's not when other jobs are not actually bringing you the income.
Yeah, I truly believe that too. I just feel like either one, if you open up your opportunities, like if one job that you kind of maybe fallen out of love with, you can also got another thing on the side that you could also open up a path to as well. Like outside of just money, you could change careers or something. You've got something there for you. So I believe that as well.
Yeah. So with my roofing business, and if I look back 10 years ago, I'll be like just working as a job. Just over broke, job, right? But right now, I look back, it sort of gave me the experience to talk to all my clients in real estate because when selling a house or buying a house, people always come to me, hey, Kevin, we got this inspection report. Can you have a look for me? And at least I can sort of get people across the line for a lot of deals. If you, for example, if you're a buyer, you come to me, hey, Kevin, we're just about to buy this house. And this is the inspection report, and they said they come back and have to fix the whole roof for 50 grand. And I said, hey, hang on a second, let me have a look for you, see what's going on. At least we can rectify the problem and see maybe it's just as little as $1,000, get a few tile fixed, and then we'll just get across the line like that.
Nice. Yeah, it goes hand in hand, right, with your real estate role. Yeah. And I think could be a good upsell too. You know what I mean? Like especially mid process when you're either potentially selling or buying, whatever it is, you can negotiate and work along with pushing the deal through. So I think it's pretty good that you've got that side venture there to help you, especially that knowledge too.
That's right. And everything, you only got 10 seconds to impress everyone.
Yeah, and also a little bit onto the mindset. So when you started your very first business, what did you feel? What was it like starting your first business? Like, were you nervous?
Very, very nervous for sure because straight after uni, I studied business management and marketing at uni. So I started my first job, my first business was probably like the roofing business with my father, with my parents. Yeah. So at the time was because after a sales consultant job at various dealerships, right? And we experienced GFC, yeah, the global financial crisis, and back in 2008, made me very ancient now. But saying that, at the time, what we call a home improvement scheme. It's just like home installation. Yeah. So me and my family took that as an opportunity to earn more business. So we took on the leap and start off a business and go from there. But little after we started, the whole program needs to be slashed because a few accidents occurred. So we invested thousands of dollars into materials and stuff. We have to make the repayment back, right? So I told myself I'm a tradie now, and so far, what could I do? I work from inside to outside, from inside the house insulation to outside of repainting, being a painter for a roof.
When that happened, when they slashed it, were you all like nervous and like, you know, didn't know what to do, or like were you like, we'll work around it?
Very nervous because it's totally different trade, and very nervous because you don't know how people will look at you. I'm promoting a new business again. I don't want that feeling people, oh, Kevin, you're changing jobs again. But in answer to your question, yes, very scary because you don't know what the outcome is, and you don't know how to capitalize the market, getting market share, and getting people to know you. Because that's why I think consistency is the key. So I sort of adjust my price a little bit lower, so I get more people to come with me. And then if I do a good job of every single customer, then I can leverage off that and go to the next one and build my business up like that.
Like word of mouth.
Yes, word of mouth is very important. Yeah.
Was there a research component that you put into place when you transitioned from insulation to the roofing stuff? Did you do a lot of background knowledge and review before you did that?
Yes and no. Yeah. So no is because I transitioned myself from insulation to painting. It's just within a month. So pretty much I have to jump into the deep fry pan to dance straight away. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy that actually I'm still in the actual roofing industry. So because I have to climb roofs every day, I'm thinking, oh, painting. Yeah. Okay. It's totally different game. Okay. I guess it made me my mentality a lot stronger. But in answer to your question, Sam, to do any research, I haven't. But at the same time, I was very lucky to have two mentors to taught me how roof painting needs to be done. So I followed them for maybe a good few weeks to see what's the ins and outs and what needs to be looked out, and I pretty much go from there. I learned it from myself.
But in terms of like mentor, because you started your own business and usually you're on your own, like even you've done it with your dad. But how did you manage to get to finding a mentor? Did you just go into like a community and be like, hey, does anyone know knowledge about this, this, and this? Like, how did you find these mentors?
Well, pretty much lucky enough, before I do a couple weeks prior to I start my roofing business, right? I like to talk to people. I actually came across at a local Bunnings warehouse and hey, blah blah blah, and people actually say, oh yeah, I'm a roofer. So I sort of hey, can I actually follow you for a couple days or a week? I'll pay you money. I actually offer people money to teach me stuff. Yeah,
That's awesome.
so I literally very kind of that mentor. He actually took me on board for about 10 days and showed me from the start to finish what needs to be done properly.
Wow, that's really
good.
cool.
Yeah. And it's so random that you met him at Bunnings too. Like, what's the chances?
Well, what are the chances? I reckon it's pretty much near to zero. But I really truly believe one word is called law of attraction. Yeah. The more you emit your energy out into the universe, things will actually pull it away and come back to you.
Yeah, no, I believe in that too. Because it's kind of the same as like mentality or your mindset. The more negative things that you're kind of saying to yourself or you believe in that's happening to you, the more it's going to happen because that's all you see. So the more you kind of put that positive energy, positive thoughts, or you're like, yeah, I will get to this point, then that's what happens because you're allowing yourself to get to that point, right? So yeah, I believe in that too.
Yeah, it's so true. You know, when you start off your morning well and you exercise and everything, you're so positive. But when you come to a roadblock, a very negative client, and then your energy just straight down to the dirt, right? So you just have to. I reckon it's all about deflecting the negative energy as quick as possible, and you can propel your continue your day being positive.
Yeah.
Because positive and negative is only a very fine line, you know. And all we have to do is that emotion management is very, very important.
Finally, it's like, the glass half full, glass half empty. It's exactly the same. One person can see it one way, another person can see it another way too. So
Yes.
Like exactly like that.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, and then people can feel it too, right? Because I was told, like, if you're talking to someone through the phone, if you think of having the conversation while smiling, the customer or whoever you're talking to can feel that through the phone.
It's also in your tone of voice.
In your tone of voice, yeah. So, like you said, if you're putting out the positive energy, then most cases that positive energy pulls back to you. And in this case, when there is someone that's negative, you can deflect it in some way and form, right?
It's very true with the podcast too. Like if we're all saying this with like a mono face, I'm sure you can hear it through the podcast while you're listening to it. And then if you're saying it with positive energy, excited, enthusiastic, you can hear it as well.
That's right, absolutely. It's just like when after a long day of work, if you're a partner, and then you come back home and hey, blah blah blah, and then if the energy wasn't well, I'm sure the whole night is going to be a long night, right? But if you actually come back positive, both positive, and then things will go turn into different perspective. Yeah, so it's so true.
Yeah,
and
Yeah, no, that's really true. Well, back onto some of the business, because you own or you run a few or dabble in a few businesses. What was the challenge that you faced when you transitioned into like having one business to two business? Were there some challenges that you had to pivot or learn?
Oh, there's a lot of challenges. Well, first of all, I'm actually scared of heights. Yeah. So for me, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like I have to climb off. Okay. The problem with roofing, right, or any trades is about ladder. So single story house is okay, but double story house is not about climbing up the roof. It's about climbing back down on the ladder because the fear factor is 100%. You know, you just go, oh man, how can I actually? It's about the weight transition as well. Which foot should I put in the ladder first? You can't put it. Yeah, the fear factor is number one. But that is my number one challenge is the scare of heights in being a tradie. But to run the challenges of running multiple businesses is about time management. I think that is key. So I sort of like have to time block myself to say, okay, when we were in high school or university, you they time block for you, right? From 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. you've been doing this stuff and blah blah blah. But when you run your own business, sometimes you can actually get out of control. Yeah, you don't know where to start, where to end, and sometimes it's sort of like a lot of overlapping timing.
Yeah.
So I guess time management is very, very is the key and challenges that I actually experienced.
And how did you end up learning how to time manage?
So I will prioritize my my tasks. Which one is more important? I need to do it first, and because everything is about prioritize the importance of that task. If I have to put it into maybe a week, 1 month, and then 3 months task, so I'll prioritize all those stuff and then get the most important stuff done first. At least I know that one is done and dusted. Then I can plan the rest of it.
Yeah. So then obviously prioritizing what's most important, but I assume now you're still running 3 different avenues, right? Real estate and your roofing and then your side gig. I see that and I'm like, far out, how the freak do you do that? Like, how do you balance?
Juggle?
How do you juggle? Like your mind transitioning from one product to another. Like, how do you flick that switch and go, yep, it's real estate game or roof game? Like, how do you do that?
I guess the key is actually about visualization. Okay, so let's say if I go to a roofing job or anything like that, I will preempt myself. Okay, I'm a roofer today. Okay, what I need to say to clients, I'm here to help people. So I'll have my checklist in my head. I say, okay, I'm a roofer right now. What I need to look for these clients, I'm here to help out and give them quotation and so forth, right? If I'm a real estate agent, I'll preempt myself. I'll say usually about maybe half an hour prior to each appointment, I'll tell myself, hey, this is my role right now. I need to preempt myself. And I think music is the one thing that I help me to amp up myself.
Nice.
If I'm going into a real estate appointment, it's very funny. I actually will play some classical music in my head because like, I will sort of have that sort of bandwidth to go with me. That's the sort of flow that I will go through. With roofing and my side gig is totally different soundtrack as well to me.
That's cool. Different soundtracks with different jobs.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So in saying that, I'll actually before every appointment, I feel like it's like a different chapter. I need to flick to that page to whatever notes that I put in my head. Then okay, this is my role today as a roofer, a real estate agent, and my side gig. Because I carry myself with one word, I'm a facilitator. Okay, how can I put value to people today? So I reckon that actually I carry on with me for every single job.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
One question I want to bring back to your time management though, because I'm quite similar. I don't have that many businesses, but we do this podcasting and we record, we got to edit, but I also do like freelance design. So when I block out time for myself, and I also got like full-time job. So when I block out time for myself, I say like 2 hours on design and then 2 hours on editing podcasts. But sometimes you're on a roll, right? Like you're on a roll. How much do you stick to that time block? Because for me, I find that even though I've scheduled out my day, this is what I'm going to do. Sometimes I don't listen to my own time blocks and I'm like, okay, I'm on a roll. I want to keep working. And then I forget about my second job. So how do you manage between that?
That's a really good question. I think it happens at daily basis. So sometimes, let's say if I time block, let's say 5 things I need to do, and sometimes you can actually get the things done or not. I will actually pick out the stuff that I really need to do first. What it comes down to prioritizing.
Like a must do.
A must do, yeah. Then because we're all creatures, right? We only believe things that we actually write out. So I write out what things I need to be done today. Then I say, then I would have to do those things first, out of the way. Then the rest I can just have the flow of doing other things. Like that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
No, that's good because for me, I in theory am meant to work 7 days because I'm in the finance game. So time management and time blocking is a priority for me to some extent because obviously with the role that we do, it's very performance based. So the numbers mean a lot. So for me, my experience is trying to balance, my main job as well as the podcast and editing and that sort of stuff. So I think for me, it's very hard to learn and trying to obviously adapt to it too. Because sometimes you go, okay, today I'll really want to focus on, getting prospects, understanding what I can do for my full-time role or full-time job. But then at the same time, you're like, oh, shit, I want to do, the editing or the side gig. And, it's just doing it and learning how to balance it. I think that's the hard part.
I think that's also part of discipline too. Like how much do you want to lean into or eat into your next task as well? And then just be like, okay, that I've done enough for today for this task. I need to get onto this because it also has importance too. There's like that kind of discipline and understanding that self-control in a way.
I guess we have to differentiate. Some stuff is called non-negotiables. We have to, you can't just like go out without brushing our teeth, right? So that is the sort of like
don't know.
Do I smell today?
Imagine
I'm gonna wash this up.
But I guess like coming back to the topic, I reckon, we have to be having, as you said, consistency, non-negotiables, and also, I reckon prioritize our shit.
That is true. Is that the discipline is the
Yeah.
the hard thing to get used
I think
to.
the challenging thing for me is there's too many things that I want to. No, it's not hard to brush my teeth, but there's just so many things that I want to do and so many things I want to learn. And I'm always so enthusiastic about everything. So it's just like, I want to do this, then I want to do that, then I want to do this. So it's like, I never, like, I start something, but it's like I don't completely finish something. That's what I mean. Like, I just, yeah, so that's the time blocking thing that I wanted to get from you, which is really, really understandable.
I guess like curiosity is one thing, like we're all curious, like as a kid, oh, what's this, what that, and same as us, we're curious about things, but same as me, like time management, but also at the same time getting the job done is very important as well. So in answer to your question, I reckon time management, prioritize, but also just have to getting the non-negotiables done, like going to the gym, going to prioritize. You have to have some me time as well.
Yeah, which is what we'll ask about a little later in the conversation as well. But you were mentioning that it took you about the better of your 10 years to find the right mindset. So we wanted to ask you what you meant by that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I'm in the roofing business for 10 plus years, right? So that thing, without actually thinking of my career advancement and anything like that, I just wanted to facilitate people all the time. But one day I actually climbed off. Okay, what triggered me to get out of the game is because I had a few near misses.
Yeah.
I nearly fell off the roof from the ladder, and I told myself, I was like, oh wow, it'll only take one shot, then you're gone, Kevin.
Because they don't have any
There's no
safety harness or anything, right? Like no thing tying you to the roof or anything.
You do. I do use it as well. That actually saved my life.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So what happened was actually I was climbing the roof, right? Double-story house. Luckily, I got what they call a roof clipper. I actually clipped the thing on this thing here, and then I bungee corded. And then it was a very, very slippery day, and I happened to inspect this roof. I was holding a second ladder on the roof, climbing on the first ladder, double story. But little did I know, the actual pavement on the driveway, they just painted about a few days ago, and they actually used the wrong paint.
Oh shit!
So you have to have a non-slip on the driveway, but they used the full slick one.
Wow. Oh shit!
So I pretty much, like, as soon as I stepped on the ladder, the whole thing just collapsed.
Oh my!
I was actually in midair by myself holding another ladder and just help. And then that was my aha moment. I need to get out. Things will always give you signs, and I think that was my sign. I need to get out.
So when that happened, what happened? Did the owner come and be like, "Holy shit, what the fuck"?
Yes. So I luckily actually just pull some of the gutter out, which I actually ended up fixing it for them. Easy, that's easy job. But it's about my life. But the owner did come out. I said, "Oh, what's going on?" And then he came out to straighten up the ladder, and then I got down.
Yeah, that is scary.
Yeah, far around.
Scary, yeah, very scary. I go from 0 to 100 in like half a second.
Faster than any car out there.
Fast and furious, baby.
Fast and scared.
Yeah.
Far out. That would have been fucking hectic.
So
Yep.
How did that start to change your mindset or help you find the right mindset?
Very good. So I'm thinking, I told myself, because I really need to get out of this game. Okay. And then I told myself, oh, what should I do? Okay. I have 5 to 6 years experience in sales role. Like I used to sell cars for different dealerships. So I said, I can talk to people. I can relate to that. And I don't want to be grubby anymore on tools and stuff. So maybe like a corporate job would be great. And then an opportunity came around. So I sort of pursued the career in real estate. That's actually how I got into it.
So it was completely new to you, right? You just had to go and like study the real estate and try and get into it?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. And I thought, people driving nice cars and, earning good money. Let's get into it. And I can see myself in the real estate game, but it's totally not what you think.
Yeah. But in terms of mindset, though, from when you were, you decided to stop or not do the roofing as like a full time or the big bulk of your work, how did you feel when you felt like you needed a change? Were you did you feel a bit down that like you don't know where to go, or were you just exactly like there's always opportunities out there and you just went for it?
It was very scary. Like every career change is very scary. Like it's understandable, but because I was still working full time while I was studying real estate, so I sort of like learn as I go, and then and then I just like sort of like learn, because every trade it takes at least 2 years to actually learn from it. And I'm very happy that I actually found one of my mentor in real estate to actually go through different obstacles and different things I can actually ask him to. Yeah. But in saying that, like how I do it is just full time studying while I was still actually working on roofing, and then the transition was hard because it's totally different. And yeah, I guess the mental challenge that I had at the time was how I have to work longer hours for not much money for the first X amount of months to transition into a proper real estate agent.
Yeah, okay. And how did you help yourself get past that? Was it really just leaning into the mentors and just continue to push through your study?
Yeah, I guess like going out with my mentor every day to see how they talk to customers, what sort of conversation that we need to do, prospecting different steps and flow chart. I follow them for about a good solid 6 to 8 months
Wow.
before I can actually go out to have the confidence to talk to clients.
And just on mentors, because for me, I'm very particular with mentors. So I have to vibe with that person before I can actually claim them as a mentor. So for you, were you just after someone that could assist you with the process and the background of the actual industry itself? Or are you like me where you're particular, you want to make sure that you have that good synergy, that good rapport with that person before you actually go, okay, can you show me the ways of what I need to do?
That is exactly how I felt as well. Like I think the vibe and also mindset is very important. If your mentor and yourself, the mindset wasn't aligned, you can't really learn anything from them. So, in answer to your question, I do actually have to vibe them out first to at least a good few visits or conversations that I know he can be my mentor. You don't want to be follow the wrong mentor with different mindset as well altogether.
What would be some questions that you would ask them or ask yourself to make sure that they're the right mentor for you?
I would say like how did they when they first started the career, how would they actually started? So if I can relate to where they came out from, I can relate to them, right? And then I'll ask them like, what are your goals in the next 5 to 10 years, right? I don't want to be, like what they 5 years later he'll be gone and stuff. I cannot sort of go to them and ask questions because I do have an analogy. I love analogy. Yeah. So when we know something, we can be the teacher. When we don't know anything, you always be a student. Yeah. So we throughout our whole life, it's always a teacher and student mentality. Yeah. So in saying that, like I will actually ask my mentor about how they got into real estate or anything, and then ask about their vision in the world in the next X amount of years, and then I can see whether they will be the right mentor or not.
That's really
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's more like I'm more about that synergy and that rapport. And to some degree, it's about can I relate to that person? Because that's important for me, right? It's okay. We're similar in that fact that we came from this similar background or whatever it is, but the mindset, like you said, is very important. If you can sort of if you can link with that person, then you can feel more comfortable to be open to them and expose yourself, because ultimately that's what you're doing.
So like the type of character that
Yeah.
they show.
Yeah, the particular character that you show, but when you're learning, you're exposing yourself as well. I feel because that's your weakest point. You don't know shit fuck all, right? And you're learning for a reason. So I think if you're able to be vulnerable in those moments, I think, and that mentor is acceptable of that, because there are some mentors
Like
that
patient.
who have no patience, who are like fucking, you're not right for this, and not motivating. And I think that's important to have someone that can motivate you even at your worst times.
I guess it worked both ways. As you said, like, a good mentor will actually encourage you and motivate you, but a bad mentor will actually distract you and also throw you off the bus as well.
Okay, so a little bit back onto the balance that we were talking about. So because you juggle so many different things, plus you have a partner as well, how do you juggle all your different work? You mentioned the time management, but then time for yourself, time for your partner, like your hobbies. How do you balance
basketball, badminton, shit. How do you do it all?
Superman here.
Yeah, I reckon, eh?
I guess we just have to balance. Okay, in terms of balancing out, to start off with, I do have a very understanding partner. Yeah. She know that I'm in real estate. I cannot probably spend time with her all the time, right? So, but I promise her once a week, I will actually take her out or
non-negotiable.
No, it's a non-negotiable,
Yeah.
right? At least once a week. But sometimes I probably have to do open house on Sunday and stuff. Then we actually exchange maybe on a Saturday or during weekdays or whatever. So, but she on that regard, she's very understanding. So in terms of hobby and stuff, I do, as Sam said, I love basketball. Been playing for a long time.
He's a pro, by the way.
I guess.
Jeremy Lee.
I hope. Halo.
Watch out for this guy.
But I guess like we all have to have me time.
Yeah.
You have to no matter what. I reckon that is a non-negotiable for myself. Us guys, we have to have a man cave. Why you have a man cave? You need to have or princess cave. You need to have a that is your shelter to be like a self-nurturing
To recharge
yourself, right? Yeah, badminton is a good way. It's a good team sport that I actually share with my partner and our friends.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but basketball is sort of like a bro thing.
Yeah,
and talk shit and talk shoes or whatever. It's a good way of actually networking as well.
Because for me, I think you as well, we're quite introverted, right? So how do you, because I don't know, do you know your, like if you're introverted, extroverted, and your personality traits? Do you know what yours is? Or
I don't know, but I think I'm actually quite introverted, to be honest. But to the general public, I have to put on a face. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But sometimes you need time for yourself.
Yeah.
But I think that I can switch.
Both.
Yeah, I can actually
good,
be
man.
being extroverted
Yeah.
and introverted, but at different situations I can just flick the switch and
That's good.
let's have to be like that and get the job done.
Because like for me, sometimes it's like you've got so much work on, then you really want your me time, so then you don't have time for your social life. So how do you find time for your me time and social life as well?
That's a really, really good question. So I actually practice what I call miracle morning. Yeah. Because, okay, let's say, for example, you wake up, a normal person wake up at 7 a.m., go to gym, 8 o'clock, and then you go to work. Yeah. So that is probably a good me time. But I reckon a miracle morning, what it says, like I started off my day at 5 a.m. now. Yeah. 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. is what we call a self-development hour. Divide into in 1 hour, we got 60 minutes and 10 minutes on each of the area that you want to improve on. Then by 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. is my me time for exercising and the gym. Then before 8 a.m., I've already got a lot of shit done already. That is good me time, because the later it gets, let's say you can't really get me time after a long day of work. You got exhausted and burnt out. The first thing is to get up a bit earlier and get all the shit out of the way. Then you start off your day. When you come back home, you can relax.
True.
Yeah, so we work in reverse.
Yeah, that makes sense, because like I didn't know that concept. Was it Miracle Morning?
Yes.
And I find that for myself, like I even tell you, because he gets up and he just like goes to work, doesn't like brings the breakfast with him. Whereas
Yeah, that's how I roll.
Whereas for me, I like to wake up that extra hour earlier, and I would literally sit there like nothing on in silence, eat my breakfast, and just enjoy that time in silence by myself. And I find that when I start off my day like that, I feel a lot better. Like I don't know what it is. It's just I feel like I've actually started off properly. Whereas like if I get up, rush, get changed, go to work, I'm like, I feel very rushed, and I feel like, you know, I haven't had that time to kind of warm up, I guess, like start up a car, or like, and you have to warm it up. I feel like it's the same concept. So that's really interesting that you called it the Miracle Morning.
So it's a book. I'm not trying to promote Miracle Morning, but they actually share a few different letters with all of you. Like they call the life savers, right? SAVERS. S for silence, A for affirmations, V for visualizations, E for exercise, R for reading, and S for scribbling, like journaling. You sort of like do a daily, what have you learned today? What are you happy about? And what are you not happy about? Because in that way, you transfer all your negativity onto the journaling. You sort of like vent it out. And then before your morning starts and everything actually align yourself, then you have a good flow of the day. When you start off your morning right, you actually finish the night right. If you start off the wrong foot, when you come back home, you'll be the wrong foot.
Flows into everything else.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So is that lifesaver thing, the thing that you're talking about in your first hour, and you do those little sections, like the 10 minutes, is that what you're working on too?
So the 1 hour, divide into different 10 minutes, it's your own preferences, right? I prefer silence, affirmations, like say, I want to be blah, blah, blah by the certain date. You have to be really affirm about it. And when you can visualize things, you can actually get it achieved, because our mind is the strongest thing in the world. Yeah. And then when you align, after you actually visualize and everything, I do a bit of reading. I'm not a good reader, but after I actually read books and stuff, I feel like I have added a lot of value to myself, and my persona have changed to a better person. And exercise to get the blood flow going, and then you actually think better.
Yeah, that's really good, eh? Yeah. It's just like self-reflecting prior to the day. And it's like warming up to setting a perfect day for yourself.
That's correct.
It's like you said, the vibe, setting the vibe right, you know what I mean? So that you can just flow through seamlessly.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's the first time I've actually heard of Miracle Morning.
Yeah.
Well, I actually encourage everyone to read that book, because the writer actually have encountered multiple challenges in his life, right? By the age of 21 or 22, he was at the top of his game, of his own trade. I think he was a salesperson, and then he had a huge accident.
Shit.
Huge accident. I mean, like from the skull to the foot, every single bone was broken. And then how could he actually? His girlfriend left him at the time, and then he was traumatized mentally and everything, right? So how he could actually transfer that into what it is, and then when GFC hit, he lost everything as well.
Damn.
And then how could he actually walk back up and write the book and get stuff done? That's why he actually created this book. Is called Miracle Morning.
Yeah, there's so many similar stories. I think it was like another podcast that I listened to, Jay Shetty. I don't know if you know him.
Yes.
He said something about how he also had an injury or some sort of like pain that he was going through. And like usually it will take a long time. I don't know if this is like the right story, but it's like it takes a long time to heal from it. But he meditated for 2 hours every single day, doing like the positive affirmations and just having positive thoughts and knowing that he will get better. And he recovered a lot faster, or he was able to recover from that. So it's just like that whole mind thing, what you put your mind to really helps you. Because like a normal person may be like, oh, you know, I now face maybe disability or whatever it is, but this person managed to pass through all that and, you know, recovered fully.
Because I really believe like our mindset is like a chipset in a computer. So if you put a wrong CPU in a computer, I don't think it actually works really well.
Yeah.
So if our mindset is right, your computer works really, really smoothly.
That's really
interesting.
similar to
That's
what
what Peter said. Yeah, Pete said the same thing. He's like, our mind is like a CPU chip.
No, he said our mind is like a computer. If you put a virus in it, you're
That's
like
right.
feeding your body a virus.
Yeah,
and
the
it will
negativity.
grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I truly believe that too.
And I think so.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm.
Yeah. So I follow you on social, so Facebook, Instagram.
I may have stalked a little as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I guess what motivated you in the socials? Because I see you post quite a lot of content, and that's everything from videos to images And it's always about mindset and recapping
Advocating.
and advocating, for a better mindset for the day. So what motivated you to start that?
Okay, I'm actually quite camera shy. Okay, but the thing is like
Can't tell.
one of my mentors said like, hey Kevin, you like to talk to people, might as well just give it a shot because social media is the next trend thing. Yeah, so maybe trying to do Instagram reels or videos to actually provide values to people. Okay, I'm a real estate agent, so might as well to talk something into mindset, because you never know when people watch your video can actually add value and resonate to your video.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're going to grocery, like a conveyor belt, you don't know when that information come, let's pick this up, and then we'll put value to their life. So I sort of think of the topics. I actually got a list of Instagram topics that I actually
That's good.
what
That's
I want
content planning.
yeah, content plan.
That's awesome.
And then whatever I go into my daily life, I say, let's do a content about blah blah blah, and I'll write it down, and then I sort of like practice and see what the vibe I wanted to put out. And some videos I actually have to take multiple times, maybe a good 45 minutes for a 30 seconds reel.
Yeah, that's what people don't realize. You on the outside, you feel like they just took it out and just record like, hey guys, and then that's it, and you post it. But really, you have to think about it, gonna plan it, and then like it might not look right, gonna do it again. So
that's right, because like when you're doing it outside on a really windy day, you don't. I'm scared of my wig will actually blown away.
Your wig.
Yeah, my wig.
That cool hairdo, you can't lose that.
Yeah. So I mean, like everything takes practice. Practice makes perfect, and also it also comes with consistency. So the more you do it, you'll actually get better at it, and you'll be talking to camera. It's just like talking to a wide audience, right? So you won't be scared after, I'll say maybe second or third time. Yeah, then I actually quite enjoying doing it. So just trying to let people know how I feel and help other people to go through the day.
So the nutshell of why you started was really just in hopes to help at least one person out there to be able to help with their mindset or how they're feeling today or something like that.
That's right, because like I think the most rewarding thing is actually people message me, hey Kevin, thank you so much for your message, thank you so much for your video. The very first video that I put out, it's only got like 600 views or something like that. The most views that I got is 30,000 views.
Holy crap.
That's really good.
I think that like of course different strategies you can put in place in Instagram. You can to go through with a wider audience. But at the end of the day, my mentor told me it's not about how many people that actually view your video. It's about the message that you put out and how many people you can impact on.
Yeah, I truly believe that too.
Yeah.
Far out 30,000 views.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's really cool.
That's good.
No, but that's similar to us. Like that's why we started this podcast and all about the mindset and all that kind of stuff. Like even if it just like, we didn't get any likes, didn't get any views, but if it helped one person, that's the main thing that we really care about. So exactly the same.
Mindset.
Yeah. It's just sharing the stories too, right? People's journeys, and ultimately it comes down to that mindset for everyone to understand. But someone could be going through the same journey or even at the start of that journey and be like, oh shit, you did it like this. So I think it's good.
Well, like it's even you feel like you're going through this challenge all by yourself and you feel like you haven't seen anyone else go through the same struggles. But once you start listening to other people's stories, you ask them, you realize a lot more people have gone through the similar things, and to be able to listen to how they handled it or dealt with it, it's just really helpful to other people. Like it may not be for us, but like for other people who may be going through the same challenge, and they're like, oh, that's how you did it, or like I actually understand, like that's how I feel right now. So
because like in daily life or friendship or anything, it's all about that relatability. When people at the lowest point, when you listen to something you can relate to, that actually makes you feel better. I give people hope. The worst thing in life is actually being hopeless. People regret it and so forth, right? But I reckon a good video is a media for us to helping other people to have happiness, because laughter and happiness is a natural medicine to life.
So true.
Yeah. So if you were to look back in your life and journey, what are the things that you would say to yourself that you probably regret the most?
Yeah,
That
because
you wish
mistakes happen. So like, what are some mistakes that you look back on and you're like, oh, I could have done better, or like, oh, probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
What are some?
I would actually altogether probably not getting into the trading industry. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, because I love wearing suits, but I have to change my mentality into changing wearing a tradie uniform. Not disrespectful. I respect my everything and all the other people out there, but it's just like it's a very tough mental thing to go from working in an office and going to the trading industry,
Hands-on job.
hands-on
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's a very very tough mental challenge for me. But I think I just very tough in my mind, sort of like, okay, this is what I do right now. I just have to do it. I guess it's called what they call a leap of faith as well. I say, okay, this is what my role right now. I just have to take on the challenge, and instead of shying away from the challenge, I face the challenge. Yeah, that is very important. But looking back, if you ask me what sort of thing that I regretted, maybe getting to the trading industry, but on the same token, without the actual experience behind me with trading industry, I cannot help and provide value to my customers today.
Yeah, there's a lesson in everything.
Yeah, that is true. And I'm kind of relatable in some way too, because I kind of started in the tradie side of things too, in the more automotive trade.
Yep.
And yeah, man, like even though I did it for, I don't know, 7-8 months, but I still value that. That's an experience that I learned.
And you
in
can
my
do
life.
that every day now. Like,
Yeah,
you
and-
service cars for us,
Yeah.
like save so much money.
It's
just
like
the
that
knowledge.
the experience is useful, you know what I mean? But obviously the trade, I mean, I think everyone's built for different purposes, right?
Yep.
And I think some people are built for that trade, that physical demand, and then some people aren't, like you just said. And I think it's just, I think all the experiences that you take in your life has some value.
Transferable value. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exactly the same. I did paralegal for 2 years. I didn't even study law or anything. I just ended up there because all my friends did law. And I did it for 2 years, and some people could see it as I wasted 2 years doing law. But I feel like it wasn't a waste of time, because the values and the knowledge I learned from that, how to deal with people, how to work in a high demanding, fast paced office, how to work with everyone just yelling at you, just demanding things from you, it built me to how I work today. Like, even now, like, people are like, how do you even manage to work on so many different files and just be completely okay? And I think part of it is an influence of being the paralegal, handling 200 files and trying to manage all the different situations and understand what to do at each file. Like, it's a big learning. So I would never regret being a paralegal for 2 years until now, like doing creative industry. It's like completely different, but there's transferable skills.
That is actually really really true. So like because whatever experience or things, it's your own knowledge, right? People cannot steal your knowledge. It's like a vault, you
Yeah.
trap into your own vault, right? I treat everyone is your own vault. It's your own encyclopedia. People cannot access. I can't access to Sam's. How can I fix my car? I might actually lost my engine, And going to paralegal, I don't have anything. I'll probably just lose it in a battle. And same as you guys, you don't know anything about roofing. You'll be, oh my God, I got a roof leaking. How can I fix it? So I guess that you're right, Amelia. Like everything has their own transferable skill.
Yeah, you have your own takeaways from each situation. But like, in terms of like other mistakes, we were trying to also see were there any like maybe mentality thoughts that you had that you thought was a not mistake, but like a way that you thought you could have done better, like mindset that you were thinking maybe you had a bit of negative thoughts in a certain situation where you're like, now I can see I could have thought of it this way. Were there some sort of situations that you thought back on and you could have done better?
Yeah, and I think to help you, I remember, so dialing back to what Millie said, how off the mic you were saying it took you a better of 10 years to figure out the right mindset.
Yes.
When it comes to just life overall.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you thought about 10, 15 years ago in terms of your mindset that you were thinking, oh shit, that wasn't the right way of thinking it? now I realize there's a better way to handle it.
Yes. Okay. In answer to that, like, yes, 10, 15 years ago, I might be, I used to be in a salesperson as well for selling cars, right? So I probably haven't listened to a lot of people, a lot. Like I talk a lot. I never get my customers to listen to their needs and stuff. But right now, I sort of pick up maybe from the roofing job, because from roofing job, I need to do a good job, people to get referrals, right? But in saying that, I would say right now I listen to more people's opinion, yeah, stories,
Yeah.
instead of like talking too much, because one of my mentors told me that like it's a 2-to-1 ratio. We've got 2 ears and one mouth.
That's
Listen,
really cool. Yeah, that's really
yeah,
good.
listen more and talk less. And so in that way, I'll say that I've improved a lot to listen to people's first, then I talk.
Yeah, I could relate to that. I think listening first rather than blabbing your mouth was the biggest thing I learned too. And I 100% put my hand up when I was younger. I used to spit fire like out of my mouth all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was the biggest thing I always never did, was listen, to just sit there and actually listen to someone sometimes. And I think you can overlook certain scenarios or situations when you just keep blabbing.
Because everyone just wanted to express themselves, right? You know, you can't just be me all the time. No one cares the shit out of you, man. You know, no one gives a fuck about you.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to listen to what people have to offer first. Then we adjust and facilitate, and then in that way, the whole flow chart is much smoother.
So you say listening was the biggest thing that.
That's right. Listening is the most important trait you have to have.
Yeah, there's something
Jeez.
I can't. I'm so bad at remembering actual quotes, but I watched this other guy. His name's Chris Do. So he is a creator, but he also turned it into like a business. So he teaches business for like freelancers, creators, and stuff like that. He said the same thing. Like listening is the most valuable thing, because that's where you get all your answers from. Whereas if you keep talking, you don't get any answers out of that. So I believe that as well.
Yeah. Because like when you listen to people, you have to listen to people's story first before we react. When we were younger, we always react. We overreacted, and then we missed the whole point. And then that's when the result wasn't shown. But right now, because I think customer service is very important. What is customer service? You have to listen to customers' needs first.
Yeah.
Then we help out, not to me, and then we miss the whole spot.
Yeah. But I also think that's maturity too, man. You know what I mean? Like as you get older, you're more mature when it comes to all kinds of scenarios. So coming from my point of view, hot-headed, so it's more about me, right? Reacting rather than actually listening and understanding the situation, the scenario first.
That's
so
true.
I think, the maturity thing is the huge thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and you start to learn the cues from different types of people, because you talk to different people, you have to kind of adjust yourself to talk in a different way, like different communication styles, because you can't just think that this is how I am, this is how I'm going to talk. Like if you talk to someone who's a little bit more sensitive, shy, like you have to try and nurture them a bit more. Whereas someone who's very business mindset, very like, on point, you can be more straightforward. So you kind of have to learn those kind of things too.
That all comes down to experience, right? Yeah.
Well, that's a really, really good analogy as well. You know, Great Wall doesn't build overnight, right? It was built brick by all those motherfuckers. Hard yakkers.
Yeah.
And Rome doesn't build overnight as well.
Yeah, no,
So
it's
it
so
built, every brick is an experience.
Yep.
And then after a while, at the end of our life, when we look back, that's a beautiful picture, that we built.
I can just imagine fucking these hard yakkers carrying this big ass brick.
They are huge though, the Great Wall.
I
They're,
know.
massive.
I actually climbed it myself.
Have you?
Yeah.
You climbed it?
Yeah, I climbed the Great Wall, and very, very tough. Like at the bottom of the level, the staircase was a lot shallower. It's easy to climb, like normal staircase. As you go through each lookout, it actually gets higher.
Wow.
So I actually climbed 4 lookouts with one of my tour mate, and then we actually made. It took us 1 hour and 45 minutes to climb 4 lookouts.
Yeah.
So on winter, and everything's slippery. we lost
With
track of
ice,
time,
right?
and they said, "Oh, we have to be back at the coach at 4 p.m." We look at our watch, like 3:40 already.
Oh my god.
So how can we actually go back down? So because it's winter, it's snowy, right? We actually slide the rail from top to bottom, 10 minutes.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Were you scared you're gonna fall off?
No, I just want to get off.
I paid for this coach ticket. I need to get back. Can't waste my money.
Shit.
That's
But-
cool.
That's crazy.
But
Yeah.
I urge everyone should actually once in a lifetime check out the Great Wall.
Yeah,
It's
I do.
amazing.
I do
It's
wanna
amazing.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go look at it because it looks
Apparently,
hectic.
it's like not that nice anymore because it's all like deteriorating.
Yeah, it's, like,
from the
decayed
age
and
stuff.
age.
But I still want to see it though.
It's a good piece of history, man. Like just to go.
It's just like the 12 apostles. It's only got 4 left now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, when we went, I think there was like 7 left, and then over the years, yeah, there's like
Only got
4.
4. Yeah, maybe 3.5 now. Yeah.
slowly.
Yeah.
That's sad. Yeah, well, coming to the end of the episode, we want to ask you. I know you mentioned was it Morning
Miracle?
Morning Miracles?
Miracle Morning.
But we
yeah.
want to
Yeah,
see
Miracle
your
Morning.
top 3 books that you would recommend to help build people's mindsets.
That's a really, really good question. I love sharing my books with you. Well, the first one is Miracle Morning, yeah. And second one is called Atomic Habits, yeah. Every single thing actually starts from small habits. And also the third one is very important to me is How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a very good book to start off as well.
And we want to see why you recommend each one of these books.
As the title suggests, right? The Miracle Morning is start off your morning right, yeah. So it gives you the right mindset, yeah. So with the right mindset and start off your morning right. So you have atomic habits, all the little things. You can't just go out without brushing our teeth and stuff. I'm using brushing teeth as well. Yeah. So all the little different habits will actually form the structure of your day, yeah. And then when we go into our each role or each job, we're all talking to clients and friends and family, and to a certain degree, we all need to use our words to persuade people, yeah,
Yeah.
in a good way or not in a bad way, but to convey your message, right? So that's why How to Win Friends and Influence People is a very powerful book. I would highly recommend all these 3 books. How to Win Friends and Influence People has been around for over 100 years.
Wow.
So it actually came down, a lot of different centuries of findings and stuff, and it's still applicable to
That's
unto this
cool.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn.
I would actually definitely want to try and read that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, it's good to know that there are books out there that help position your mindset when it comes to those things specifically.
Yep.
And I think the biggest thing is books, right? People hear books and they go, "Oh, fuck, I'm not going to read a
I'm
fucking
so
book."
bad at reading books. Like I tell them all the time, like I do want to read books. I get into it and then I don't know, my eyes just don't stick. I just like read over the lines, but I'm not reading and it's going in circles. So like I do want to try and read more, but yeah, I don't know. It's just hard for me to stick to it. But I can see value in reading from books too.
One thing I'm not a very good reader either, so I actually started off as reading to podcasts.
Yeah, that's what I do.
It's called the ebook and stuff like that. People read it out to you, so in
Yeah.
that way, on the way to work or on the way back from work, at least you're driving, but you're still occupying yourself to learn developing. Yeah, so you can start off like you type in your the book that you wanted to listen to. You can actually go off that way, and I find that quite interesting because you're driving, got nothing to do, you're just listening to them, you're actually maximizing your time.
Yeah.
And then when you come back to the actual book, you sort of like, that's the actual thing that they're talking about. I find it more absorbing. And also my experience from actually transferring from a normal podcast to ebooks to reading the book is like, you have to you can set a timer to yourself. Like you don't have to read a whole chapter or anything. Just set yourself to read at least 10 pages every day. You can actually finish the whole book in a month.
Oh wow.
Shit.
Yeah.
That is a good mindset and perspective. And also play if you put onto Spotify, right, they have a lot of reading music. Yeah. So you can sort of like calm, you set your tone for reading. I find that is really, really nice and absorb. You actually dive into the actual book.
Yeah.
Instead of like, reading word by word. So I lost track and I'll close the book straight away.
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of people getting into ebooks now.
I prefer listening than to read, so I think that's...
I'm the same thing. I prefer listening. I think my eyes, I'll probably stab my eyes up.
I'll just fall asleep.
I know. Yeah. We're all like that, like everyone built differently. Like I hate reading as well, but I guess like it's just like people going to gym. I hate gymming, I hate running, but now I actually learn how to enjoy running and reading as well, because they're both, you really takes the first step to go to the second. The first step is to go to the gym. Then when you're at gym, you see a lot of people working out. You have no excuse of getting out.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's all in the tiny habits, right?
That's right. Atomic habits.
Did you listen to a particular track this morning to start your day? Because
this morning I actually, because it's a Sunday, I listened to some Chinese music.
Which one? What's the track?
You know Jay Chow?
Yeah,
Jay Chow. I love Jay Chow.
That's cool.
Yeah. But which track is in Chinese, right? Hey So Yo Mo, so it's got one of its very first track. So it's quite a slow, but also that actually set my tone for the day. If I before, also with playing basketball as well, if I depending on which team I play with, if I want to be more upbeat, I'll actually play a lot more R&B songs and more explicit songs,
that's cool,
or Eminem songs, then I will actually got into that rhythm.
You're rapping in the car too.
I'm rapping while I'm doing a layup.
That's cool, man. I think relating to music in terms of setting the vibe and your vibration, that's a good way to
it
set
really
yourself.
does change the mood. Like even if you watch reels, if someone plays something with like R&B, like you can feel that, and then like playing classical music is like more calming, more like educational or something like that. You can actually change up the vibe a lot.
Can I share something with you, like on an off-topic thing? Yeah, it's actually, like in Germany or somewhere in Europe, right? Same as human. Normal we have egg, right? Let's say 5 centimeter for one egg, right? Yeah. So if they actually let the chicken or hen to listen to actual music, it actually changes the size of the egg as well.
Actually, I did hear that. It was like a study that they did.
Yeah. Because like also in Japan as well. So the egg is actually go up from 5 centimeter to as big as 8 centimeter.
Holy crap!
The egg, because the chicken actually relax. It's a rhythm that actually they feel has a good safety net, so they don't have to stress. Because stress is the main thing for all creatures and animals, right? So I reckon like to set music is it helps us on a multitude of things. When you're going into an interview, sport or so forth, I reckon a different soundtrack would dictate the outcome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Really true.
Yeah.
One last question before we end it. Is there any new business ventures that you're looking into that you don't mind sharing?
Okay, I would actually go into beauty and anti-aging industry. So reason being is because, hey, we all want to look younger, right? And we're not getting any younger. So as we go after the age of 20, we're actually losing a lot of nutrients we're oxidizing our body a lot. So in fact, I'm actually in that industry right now. I'm tapping into that market now.
That's really cool.
That's cool.
It's like another completely different industry for you too.
Yeah. Before we end it, you want to plug your socials, who you are, where they can find you if they need real estate?
Or just inspiration post to listen to.
Yeah, sure. Just like, on as my name suggests, my name is Kevin Loy. So Kevin Loy 118. It's my Instagram account. Yeah, so I'll post different things daily. And you can actually plug into my reels and stuff like that. And I'm planning to restructure my Instagram so people will actually enjoy a bit more.
Can't wait to see those.
I follow it, and I told you directly off the mic. I said, keep doing what you're doing, because it motivates me, man. Like seeing the shit that you do, especially from your industry and your day-to-day life. Yeah, it's amazing to see how you do it, how you balance it, and still have the time to do you.
Yeah, this man never stops.
Yeah, man.
It's really inspirational, and we really want to thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you for coming, man.
Not a problem at all. I'm really privileged. Thank you for inviting me. To share my insight and experience. I'm looking forward for a part 2 next time.
Yeah,
Hey,
always.
of course.
All right, and with that's the end of our episode. And once again, thank you, Kevin. And that's it for Ask the Duo podcast.
중리롱 씨. 감사합니다.
안녕.
안녕하세요.
All right, bye.
Bye.